everybody. It was so good to see everybody on our Zoom call this morning. I hope you had fun doing the scavenger hunt. I know it was fun for me. So are you ready for chapter 4 of Stuart Little? This one is called Exercise. One fine morning in the month of May, Stuart was 3 years old. He arose early, as was his custom, washed and dressed himself, took his hat and cane, and went downstairs into the living room to see what was doing. No one was around but Snowbell, the white cat that belonged to Mrs. Little. Snowbell was another early riser, and this morning he was lying on the rug in the middle of the room thinking about the days when he was just a kitten. "Good morning," said Stuart. "Hello," replied Snowbell sharply. "You're up early, aren't you?" Stuart glanced at his watch. "Yes," he said. "It's only 6:05, but I felt good and I thought I'd come down and get a little exercise." "I should think you'd get all the exercise you want up there in the bathroom, banging around, waking all the rest of us up, trying to get that water started so you can brush your teeth. Your teeth really aren't big enough to brush anyway. You want to see a good set? Here, just look at mine." And Snowbell opened his mouth and showed 2 rows of gleaming white teeth that were sharp as needles. "Very nice," said Stuart, "but mine are all right too, even though they're small. As for exercise, I take all that I can get. I bet my stomach muscles are firmer than yours." So look at this picture. Here's Snowball showing his teeth to Stuart. Now, my brain says, this might not turn out well, because what happens to cats and mice? Wonder if Stuart's right about his stomach muscles. "I bet they're not," said the cat. "I bet they are," said Stuart. "They're like iron bands." "I bet they're not," said the cat. Stuart glanced around the room to see what he could do to prove to Snowbell what good stomach muscles he had. He had spied the drawn window shade up on the east window with its shade cord and ring, like a trapeze, and it gave him an idea. Climbing to the window, he took off his hat and he laid down his cane. "You can't do this," he said to the cat, and he ran and he jumped onto the ring the way that acrobats do in a circus, meaning to pull himself up. But a surprising thing happened. Stuart had taken such a hard jump that it started the shade, and with a loud snap, the shade flew up clear to the top of the window, dragging Stuart along with it and rolling him up inside so he couldn't budge. Here's the picture. So when he grabbed onto that ring, it made the shade roll up and Stuart was inside the shade. Oh no, he was stuck. "Holy mackerel," said Snowball, who was almost as surprised as Stuart. Well, I guess that'll teach him to show off his muscles. "Help! Let me out!" cried Stuart, who was frightened and bruised and inside the rolled up shade, and he could hardly even breathe. But his voice was so weak that no one heard him. Snowbell just chuckled. He was not very fond of Stuart, and it didn't bother him at all that Stuart was all wrapped up in a window shade, crying and hurt and unable to get out. Instead of running upstairs and telling Mr. and Mrs. Little about the accident, Snowbell did a very curious thing. He glanced around to see if anyone was looking. Then he leaped softly up onto the windowsill. He picked up Stuart's hat and cane in his mouth, and he carried them to the pantry, and he laid them down at the entrance of the mouse hole. Wonder why he did that. When Mrs. Stuart came down a little later and she found them there, she gave a shrill scream, which brought everyone on the run. "It's happened!" she cried. "What has?" asked her husband. "Stuart is down the mouse hole." Here's a picture of Snowbell, and you can see right there where he put his hat and his cane. Oh, actually, he still has his hat in his mouth. I wonder why Snowbell did that. Wonder what he's trying to do. Wonder if they're going to figure out where Stuart really is, that he's not down the mouse hole, that he's stuck in the shade. We'll have to find out tomorrow. Hope you have a great rainy rest of your day.